I have been trying to get my physical TBR down to a lower number because even though it's not that extreme, it stresses me out. I don't want to own this many unread books because then I get into a cycle of only reading the newest ones, neglecting the old ones, never reading them, and then just getting rid of them because I'm not interested anymore. So I want to have a very, very small physical TBR so I don't have those books that kind of go into the graveyard. So I'm on a mission to read every single book on my physical TBR. Initially, I was saying that I wanted to do this by the end of the year. That is not realistic because I keep buying books. So this project is now going to run until I am done with everything. I would love to read as many as possible before the end of the year so that I can start more so fresh. And it's hard because I should be prioritizing the older books in my TBR so that I just have the newer ones. But if I'm only reading the old ones, then I'm not reading the new ones when they come in, and then they're not as new as the new books that I get. And then the cycle just continues. So I'm trying to just obsessively read. We'll see how it goes. I don't really know what to expect, but I do know that in this video, I'm going to pick my books based on 3 different October readathons. So each of these 3 readathons have a board. I'm going to pick each book by continuing to play these games, move around the boards. So I will be moving forward in all 3 readathons every time, and the book that I read has to fit at least 2 of the 3 prompts. I will try to fit all 3. Sometimes that'll work, sometimes it won't because I am limited to the books on my shelves. So the readathons that will be picking my TBR are Spookoplathon, hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books, Halloweenathon, hosted by Kelsey from Slime and Slashers, and TBR Harvest, hosted by Leandra, the TBR Zero. So, before we get into the first picks, I do want to tell you about my TBR. We ended last episode with 54 books on my TBR. Since then, I have done a little project on my channel called Recommendation Rivalry, where I was pitting 9 platforms against each other to see where I can get the best recommendations from. If you're interested in that, the playlist is in the description. And in that, I did read 7 books from my physical TBR. The thing is, I did go to a book festival and I've gotten some pre-orders in, and I added 8 books to my TBR. So we are starting this episode off with 55 books. Ideally, I would love to end this episode on at least 45, maybe 40 if I'm feeling ambitious, which I usually am. Okay, I'm usually feeling ambitious, but not usually good at accomplishing those things. So we'll see how it goes. The readathons are going to determine what I'm reading throughout this. So let's get our first pick. We are going to do our first roll for Spookoplathon. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pumpkin carving. So we have a face on the cover for roll 1 from Spookoplathon, and the starting space on TBR Harvest board is a prompt from another readathon. So that is fine. And then I actually did my first 3 rolls for Halloweenathon in my October TBR. But here's my first roll from that. So for my first roll, I rolled a 10, and that gets me to a book about vampires. So I face on the cover, vampire, and from another readathon. I could easily do face on the cover, but I can't do face on the cover and vampire. I only have 1 vampire book on my TBR. But I am going to go with that one because I think that one is going to be a little bit harder to fit in, and I really need to read this month because I'm doing a Patreon read-along with some of my tiers, and we are reading So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. I've read 2 books from Rachel Harrison, a 3.5 star and a 4.5 star. So I'm really excited for this one. I have a signed copy, and when I got it signed, she gave this card that has a drink on it. Maybe I'll try to make that. So we will be starting off with So Thirsty by Rachel Harrison. I'm joined by Winston. Hello. I got the Twisted Retreat October box, and there's a crochet thing in here, so that's fun. Speaking of the Twisted Retreat box, I have 2 books that I need to haul. So we're gonna do that. I got Antenora, which is a novella, and it's something to do with hell and maybe religious stuff. And then I also, in the same box, got Do What Godmother Says by L.S. Stratton. So very pretty. Both of these have edges, fancy edges. So, I am adding both of those to my TBR. Started at 55. So Thirsty puts us at 54. But then adding 2 more puts us at 56. I am going to do an unhaul. I have a couple books on my TBR that I'm just I don't want to read this. I don't. So I think tomorrow we're going to do that because it's pretty late and I really want to lay in bed. But I have been reading So Thirsty, so I want to update you. I'm 116 pages in, which is a decent chunk, probably 40%. And I'm actually really liking this. Here's the thing, not much has happened, but the things that the main character is dealing with are a lot of emotions that I have felt in the past. She's scared to make changes because the way that certain things in her life are good, how they are. I said are so many times in that. I don't know if that even made sense. Her main issue is her relationship, which is not my issue, but I've just like found myself in situations where I'm like, I don't think this is like really for me, but I was like already so far into it and like scared to make changes because I was really happy with certain parts of it. I'm specifically talking about my degree. I don't use my degree. Part of me does regret it, but it's so hard because like I made so many incredible friendships because of it. So I don't know. I have very complex feelings about that, and like this is just discussing a lot of them. So not much has happened so far. We are following Sloane. She's our main character, and it is her birthday, and her husband books her and her best friend this weekend away. Kind of weird that he doesn't want to go with her, but there's been multiple times of him cheating, and she just stays with him because she is comfortable in the life she's in. She doesn't want to kind of navigate life, money, situations by herself, and she's kind of scared to leave the situation she's in. And her friend Naomi is very like free-spirited and wants her to kind of have a better life, even though Sloane won't accept that there probably is something out there that's actually better for her. We are getting joined by all the cats. They go on this trip and they get invited to this party. Naomi agrees to the party. They show up and like things are kind of weird, like it's like sexually weird. Naomi orchestrates a wild night out with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Sloane and Naomi's lives literally forever. And they are forced to come to terms with some pretty eternal consequences. It says it's a vampire novel, so I'm really liking it, but it's not one that I feel like has a very fast-paced plot. I feel like not much has happened with that. I do think it's going to pick up because we just experienced the first like vampire situation. So I'm liking it. I'm connecting with the main character. I'm gonna go feed the cats because they're both harassing me. Winston is right there and Nova's right there. I was gonna tell you something, but I can't remember what it was. I told you about the books that I hauled. Yeah, tomorrow we are gonna do an unhaul. I have some that I am going to take off my TBR. Oh, I saw the Venom movie today. Adam and I went to see the new Venom movie. It technically comes out tomorrow. Like tomorrow is the release day, but Adam is a really big Venom fan. He grew up like big into like comics and the comic movies, specifically Marvel. And we went today and honestly didn't really love the movie. I mean, I think the Venom and Eddie Brock like relationship is fun to watch, but the actual plot not very good. But Clay McLeod Chapman, who is a horror author that I've read from and really liked, has written Venom comics, and his name was at the end of the credits because Marvel and their whole end credit thing, well, this is technically Sony anyway, his name was there and I wasn't paying attention, so I think it had something to do with like comic authors, but his name was there. It was like a full line by himself. So I messaged him. I was like, hey, you were in the credits of Venom, and he had no idea. Well, somebody else had messaged him too, but like he didn't know it was a thing, and he's like, how did you even see that? And I had to tell him like it was actually very visible because there were so many names. The credits are very long. So yeah, Adam and I got the AMC movie passes, so we can technically see up to 3 movies a week included with that. We don't go to 3 movies a week because like, ugh. But yeah, so we saw Venom today. Tomorrow we're going to a haunted house. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna go lay in bed. I do plan on listening to the audiobook a little bit for So Thirsty while I'm getting ready for bed, feeding the cats because that's why they're in my face. Hello. I don't usually come over here very often because this bed is metal frame and is kind of noisy. So I don't want the little noises constantly. But I am doing a pretty big reorganization project up in my office, library, slash guest room, and it's kind of a mess everywhere else because I'm constantly moving things. So that's been fun. I've been in like a weird mood recently, and I think it's partially because I got a new desk, because I got a new chair, and the desk that I had was like an old one that was given to us by somebody, and it was supposed to be on wheels, and those were lost, and it was just too, like, the chair was too tall for the desk, which the desk is actually what you are on right now because it's getting moved into another room. But my new desk is really big, which is what I wanted, but I'm having some issues fitting it exactly how I want it. And I also need to add another shelf in here, at least one, because I'm running out of space, especially from like reading the books on my TBR. So that's how that is going. The book. I am 194 pages into So Thirsty. I am liking it. I do think that it's gotten a little not repetitive, but I feel like I'm losing interest a little bit. I'm still really liking it, but I truly feel like the plot in this has been like nothing. They go to this party and then they're just like thinking about how being a vampire is going to change their life, and then like kind of just like running around. I am really, really liking the conversations in it, though. I feel like with Black Sheep, I really like the plot and the conversations. In Such Sharp Teeth, so those are the two that I've read, I didn't care about the plot, but I liked the conversations. In this one, I'm liking it in between the two of those. I'm liking the conversations a lot, and I think that, like, the stuff that's happening is interesting enough, but, like, there's not much of it. So, I don't know, at this point, probably... Bless you, Bowser. Bowser is feeling very on edge today because things are being moved around, and I am, I guess, moving more than I usually do. So he's just been like in a weird mood today. I'm gonna keep doing things. I need to kind of organize some stuff so that I can move things, so that I can do other things. And I'm gonna listen to the audiobook of So Thirsty when I do that. I have an hour left at my listening speed, I think. He's had a good pet. That feels so good. What was I saying? I'm gonna keep doing things up here. I'm gonna finish my book. We will move forward in all three boards, find the next pick today. I definitely have a decent amount of time to read before we go to the haunted house tonight. Bowser's being very distracting, so I'm gonna go. If you're not new here, I will confirm that this is in a different spot than it used to be. I don't know if it's gonna live here permanently. I'm struggling. You know, we're just gonna go with it. I finished So Thirsty. I truly cannot find the book. I was looking around for it and I just don't know where it went, so that is fun. But I did finish, and I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I do think that the end was not my favorite. I think that it could have had a little bit more to it. I don't mind ambiguous endings, but I just feel like with this story we needed something else, maybe? I'm not really sure. I, once again, really like the conversations. I think the plot was interesting enough, but I think that there could have been more that was done with it. So, it is in the middle of... Oh, sorry, Winston. No, don't leave me. So it's in the middle of my Rachel Harrison reads. Black Sheep is at the top, and then So Thirsty, and then... what's that called? Such Sharp Teeth. But I still enjoyed all of them. We do need to pick our second book, which is why we're over here. And also, we are going to do the unhaul that I was talking about. So for book 2, for TBR Harvest, we are going down this path, down this chimney. So the prompt for this is a dark book. Here's my second roll for Halloweenathon from my TBR. For my second roll, I got a 6, which takes me to 16. And for this, I need to read a translated book. And then roll 2 for Spookoplathon. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jason. The Jason prompt is a book with 13 letters. So, going through my TBR, I have 2 books that are 13 letters that have a dark cover. I do not have any translated books on my TBR at the moment, so we are not counting that. So here's the situation. I put 2 books up for a poll on my Patreon for the winner of this. And I just recounted, and whenever I was counting these initially, I didn't realize this one had "the" in the title. So the one actually doesn't have 13 letters, but that's the one that won my poll. So we're just gonna go with it. So the 2 on the poll were The Unraveling by V. Keeland. This is an obsession thriller. And The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy recommended this one to me because of the game element in it. If you exclude "the," there are 13 letters in the title. It's fine. We're going to go with it. I mean, we're already cheating at these readathons because I'm not doing every prompt for every readathon every time, technically, because I'm only picking 2 out of 3. So we are going to go with this. Here's some things about me. I can't do math. I claim that I like to follow the rules, but if they don't work for me, I don't like to follow the rules. So we're gonna read this. Oh god, okay. It's fine. Everything is fine here. Let's unhaul some books. I have finally admitted to myself that I don't love really old books. Also, I need to put these 2 down here. I have reorganized my TBRs so that it's in order that I got the books. These ones were already like that, but the ones from this year were not, and they now are. These are all ones that are like January, it definitely starts with January through, I don't know, the summertime. And then these are the ones that I got in the last, 2 months. So we're not going to talk about that. Let's go up here because I do not want to read these 2 books anymore. They're both old, and I have just found that I don't like old horror books. I am going to make an exception for Rosemary's Baby. I do want to try this one because it's such a classic that we're going to keep that one for now. Another old book that I just don't want to try. Ghost Story. I'm sorry to anybody that's offended. And then I have 3 others. I am keeping all of these ones and the rest from up here. But I've been reading a little bit more fantasy in the past year or so. And Cassidy, who I had just mentioned, I pretty much ask her if she thinks I'm going to like things because she's gotten a very good, grasp on my taste. So I am going to unhaul Daughter of Redwinter. She said that I'm probably going to think it's boring, so not even going to try. I also don't really want to keep this YA sci-fi book on my shelves. And I've heard bad things about this, so I'm going to unhaul The Vegetarian. So unhauling these, we are at 49 now, which is good progress. I feel like my location is so all over the place in this video. So I'm currently at my desk, but my desk is shoved into this weird cubby thing. I don't know how to explain it. This room is in the attic. It's one of these situations. So junk everywhere. You can just see my entire desk box. Need to get rid of that. So this is a weird cubby within this little cubby thing. But the bed that I was sitting on earlier and then the desk are shoved in here because I'm painting this wall over here to have an accent wall, but also I might paint in here. I don't know what to do, but I'm working on that. So I've been inhaling paint fumes. So if I am not making sense, blame it on that. So books. While I've been painting, I have been listening to The Games Gods Play. I just got to part 4, which is 190 pages in. We are following Lyra, and she is forced to play in these games that the gods play every 100 years. I was not trying to specifically reference this title, but it is, I don't know if there's a name of it. Oh, The Crucible. And it's a contest that the gods hold to see which among them is going to be the lead god. But instead of fighting each other, they all pick an opponent, and then there's these games that they are playing, competing against each other. They can give their humans extra tokens to help them win, and then they're just fighting possibly to the death. It's not guaranteed that they're gonna die. So she's an office clerk for the Order of Thieves, and at the beginning she ends up running into Hades, and there's something between them. The paint fumes, and then also I have a chronic cough. Anyway, so the next day the chosen participants are announced, and Hades picks her, and she's excuse you, what? And this is his first time entering into the Crucible. Normally, I guess he doesn't care about being in charge. So, like, why is he doing that? If he's never participated in this before, like, obviously he wants to be in charge for some specific reason. And she has this curse that is put on her from Zeus when she was younger, where, like, nobody can love her. And that's a big thing in her life. But then her and Hades start to have like a weird connection. I think Lyra reads a little young, and in my brain, I think specifically because of things like Percy Jackson, which is my only real knowledge of Greek gods and stuff. I'm picturing her as 16 and Hades is like 45, which is not ideal. Their relationship is like a little strange, but clearly they have interest in one another. So I'm interested in it. I think the games are fun. I've been liking seeing what they come up with. Each god that's participating puts together like a challenge for everybody to participate in, and then their pawn is the one that gets the advantage for that one. So I'm liking it. I wouldn't say it's a favorite at this point, but it's very entertaining. I feel like I flew through it while I was painting, and it made it feel like I wasn't painting for as long as I was. I have a Patreon kind of craft night coming up. In the past, I've done a public readathon called Halloween Readathon, and it's on Patreon this year. So we have like a crafting coloring event that's happening in a couple minutes. So I'm going to go do that. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to start the audiobook again, paint the second coat on this wall. I'll show you everything once I have things moved around and set up where they're supposed to be. I made it to part 6 in the game's God's Play, which is 342 pages. And I'm liking this. I think that the trials, the games that are happening, they're called Labor. Labors? Yeah, Labor. Capital L. I'm really liking those. I like things like this a lot. I think that it's just very interesting, and I think it allows for different things in the plot to be happening, which I think is interesting. I will say that I'm not loving this one as much as other romantasy books because I feel like I don't really care about the characters that much. For me, the ones that I've liked a lot more, I've been invested in the characters, not even specifically their relationships, but like the characters themselves. And I have like no thoughts about our main character. I mean, I do think it's interesting the conversation on this curse where she's not allowed to be loved by anybody, so she always feels like an outsider. But even with that, I don't know, I just like don't specifically care about that part of her. And then I think that the romance that's happening, I mean, it's like very slow burn, but I'm not super interested in that. Yeah, this one is definitely one where the plot is carrying it for me, but I'm not completely obsessed with the plot itself either. Like, I'm having a really fun time with it. It's very engaging. This book is so fast paced. Like, there's been things happening the whole time. The labors have been going on since pretty much the beginning of the book. Like, I really enjoy that. Also, can we just talk about how pretty this copy is? So I have the like sprayed edges edition, and then there's these end papers, which I really like. This isn't as exciting, but yeah, so I'm glad I'm liking it because at this rate I'm going to keep this on my shelves. Really, if you want to convince me to read a romantasy book, like if there's trials in it, I will read it. It's a very quick read. I am flying through it even though it's over 500 pages. It is 1 a.m. I was planning on going to bed earlier, but the paint thing took up a lot of my time. I was doing the laundry today, like I just washed the sheets and the comforter, and the comforter wasn't completely dry, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna watch the Taylor Swift concert live stream, and it was the surprise songs, and Sabrina Carpenter was there. Oh my gosh, she started singing Espresso, and I was like, I went to the Short and Sweet tour, I guess, yeah, it was the beginning of this month, so I was able to go to that, which was very exciting. Such a fun concert. I really liked the album. So seeing her come out and the like 3-song mashup that they did with Espresso and Please 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 and was it Call It What You Want? I don't remember anymore. But yeah, that was very, very fun. So that took up some of the time that I probably could have been reading. But, you know, I read a lot today. And then my crafting event was a lot of fun. Oh, also, I forgot to update you. The haunted house that we went to was a lot of fun. We weren't allowed to like record or anything in it, but it is in an abandoned movie theater. So the outside has like the sign on it, and it was really fun. A guy with a chainsaw made me run. I didn't want to run. I didn't feel the need to run, but he was screaming run at me. And then Adam was like, you gotta run. So we both had to run. But that was a lot of fun. There was some like jump scare moments that got me. There was one that I thought was an animatronic, and it was not. And I was like, oh, and then he followed me because I screamed. I want to scream. I want to be scared of things like that. So like I kind of don't try to not be scared. But yeah, very fun. I am gonna go to sleep. I plan on finishing this tomorrow so then we can pick our third book. How many is that off the TBR? 6 Unhaul, 7, and 8. So I want to read at least 2 more books. I haven't gotten any more books, so that's good. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll talk to you in the morning. Tell me why I almost said good morning to you and it's 10:30 at night. Anyway, I have been reading today, but not like too much. So because the games Gods Play is very long, I haven't finished yet, so I don't really have an update. I am 400 pages in, so pretty close to the end. I do want to finish this tonight, but I'm getting ready to go downstairs and go to bed soon. Like lay in bed and read. So we're kind of in the thick of things. We are in the time where things are starting to wrap up with the games, and it's very intense. So still liking it. Don't know where my bookmark is. Oh, also I did find this. It was under something. I am going to show you what I painted tomorrow when the lighting is better, but we need to pick another book since I'm going to finish this one tonight, and I want to be able to wake up and start reading and not have to pick something. So for TBR Harvest, continuing down, we need to pick a series read. And here's my final pick from my TBR for Halloweenathon. For my third roll, I got a 7, and this takes me to spot 23, and that is to read a book with a small town setting. So a series read in a small town setting is giving me romance vibes. I don't have any of those on my shelves though. Okay, so the final roll for Spookoplathon, roll 3, 8 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Pentacle. So Pentacle is a 5-star prediction. So what do we have? Oh my god, wait, I already know. And this actually fits all of them. I am going to be reading Candy Cane Kills Again. This is book 5 in the Killer VHS series, and it's also a sequel to Candy Cane Kills, which I loved, gave 5 stars. I am predicting this one to be 5 stars, and it's set in a very, very small town where there's a very gruesome, like, family murder that happens in the past, and then things start to go wrong in the future. So this fits all 3 prompts. I also need to read it this month because it comes out next month and the publisher sent me an early copy, so I really wanted to get to this one. I don't care that it's a Christmas book. I'm so excited. And I'm really excited that this fit all 3 prompts for the first roll. Hello, it is the morning. I am in the same spot and I'm wearing the same thing, but I haven't changed out of my pajamas yet, and it is what it is. So I'm in front of my TBR shelf again because... where's my book? Oh. I have finished the games Gods Play. I finished it up a little bit this morning, but I ended up really, really liking this. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I generally like how it ended. There's like a big, I guess, cliffhanger, but I don't know if I need to continue. I'm not opposed to it. As this went, I started to care about the characters more. I feel like for most of the time, I was kind of indifferent towards everybody, and I felt like I didn't really get to know any of the side characters, but I feel like as it went and people lasted longer, I feel like I got to know them a little bit more. Fast-paced, like kind of high-action stories like this, I think are what I generally prefer in fantasy books. So like it makes sense that games and trials work for me. So I'm going to give this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, which is good since I I think I paid an extra $1 or something to get this, so really not a big deal. So since I finished this and I had the audiobook for this, and my next book is Candy Cane Kills, which does not have an audiobook, I need to pick another book because I am about to get ready and leave to go get lunch with my mom, sister, and nephew, so I need an audiobook for that. So moving to number 4 for all of the readathons. For TBR Harvest, I don't think I'm going to be able to go back up and then get back down before I need to finish this video, so we are going to move to the last prompt for TBR Harvest and pick a book that I don't know much about, which honestly I read the synopsis and forget things, or someone recommends it to me and I'm like, yeah, cool. So I don't know about a lot of the books on my TBR. So let's get another roll for Halloweenathon. So I was on 23 for Halloweenathon, and that is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 28 is a book blurbed by Stephen King or R.L. Stine. I'm not sure if I have any of those. Let's look. I feel like these are two like small. That's the wrong Stephen. Paul Tremblay. Okay, I don't have any of those. I'm just going to roll again. Okay, so we were on 28. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Puts us at 40, which is a watching only prompt, which I won't be doing, so we'll roll again. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 45 is an activity only prompt. Okay, we're making our way through this board. 10. Okay, I don't need to count. That puts us at 55. So this is The Descent. The title is located on the bottom of the book cover. Okay, I can do that. I like that this prompt isn't super specific because I feel like it'll give you more options to try to fit a book for all 3 prompts again. So let's get another roll for Spookoplathon. Roll 4. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Spoopy. So for Spoopy, I am going to go with a thriller. I don't have really any like typical spoopy things on my TBR anyway, but for me, the scary stuff is in the horror, and I don't really find thrillers scary at all, but it still has like those vibes. So I'm gonna pick a thriller. So if possible, we need a book I don't know much about that is a thriller with the title on the bottom of the book, which I think we can do. So let's pick another book so I have an audiobook for my drive. I don't think any of these are really thrillers. No. The Good Daughter could work. No. Maybe. I feel like this counts because it goes to the bottom. No. No. That's kind of both, but no. Nope. Maybe. No, I feel like that probably doesn't count either. No. No. Okay, so I have 2 options, and the one I know the least about is The Father She Went to Find, because the publisher sent it to me. I didn't request it. So we're gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go eat some pizza, read some of that. So I'll probably talk to you about 2 books at once for now. Hopefully that's not too confusing. Oh, the cats are really cute, so I'm gonna show you them too. Nova's just rolling around. Hi, baby. Buzz is over there too. I just filmed my TBR game. So cute. And then we have a sunbathing kitty. Adorable. We're not talking about any mess you can see in the background. I'm still in the process of cleaning things, going through things, organizing things, moving everything where I need it to be. I forgot to show you the wall. I'll do it in this video. Okay, so I have some things I need to talk to you about. So, first thing, for book number 3, Candy Cane Kills, I am halfway in. It looks like I'm not quite halfway, but there's like this much extra stuff at the end. I'm really liking this. I think for me, halfway is kind of when Candy Cane Kills became more of a 5-star read. I don't have much to say about this. It deals a lot with religious trauma, and it also is building on the stuff from the first book. Obviously, is stuff that I cannot talk about. There's been some very fun and unique kills centered around religious stuff, so like, if you are super religious, maybe this wouldn't work. Of course, I picked the one spot to like put all of my junk. So we're just gonna say like this. I know you can still see some of it. But yeah, I think it's really fun, but I can see people having some issues with some of these things. So I don't have anything to say other than that, truly. Like, it's a fun slasher. I'm liking the stuff that it's talking about, but there's not really much to say, especially because it's a continuation. And then I went and got lunch with my mom, my sister, my nephew. We went to this pizza place. We always go to the same place. We meet halfway. It's like oven fire pizza, brick oven. There we go. It's brick oven pizza. It's my favorite. We always get margarita and then we get fries. So here's my plate that I ate off of before I remembered to show you. Then we went to Marshall's and I got some like paw print ornament things for Bowser, Nova, and Winston to do that. And I got this cat stress ball. So love that. There's that. And on the way there, I started listening to the audiobook for The Father She Went to Find. I'm gonna DNF this one. 15 chapters in. I got 42 pages in, and I do not care about this book. I didn't buy this book, so I don't feel bad getting rid of it this early on, especially. I just don't really care about watching this 21-year-old finding her father. Her father left when she was young. There was an incident with her mom. Her mom sucks. And then she was in a coma because of her mom. And she wakes up and her dad is gone. With that, she does get some interesting new superpowers, pretty much. They're not superpowers, but she now associates colors with numbers. Like, if someone says 8, she sees a color. So there's a thing with that, and then also she has a photographic memory, and like, those things are interesting, but not enough for me to care about someone just like desperately needing to find their dad and going on a road trip to do that. I don't care. But this is still book 4. Like, we're counting this as the 4th book. It's another book off my TBR. I didn't really want to DNF it, but I like actually didn't care at all. So we're gonna do our 5th roll. I am planning on finishing Candy Cane Kills tonight or tomorrow, so I'll talk to you about this tomorrow, but I wanted to update you on this so that we could do the next roll so that I can read in bed in the morning, because that's exactly what I need. I'm just like really tired and I kind of just need a morning to not do much. Let me clean off some space because I have just junk everywhere, and we're gonna pick the next book. The thing is, we are now down to just Spookoplathon and Halloweenathon because we technically completed TBR Harvest on that track. But I think what I'm going to do is start over. Okay, let me look at TBR Harvest. So we already did attic, chimney, fireplace, enter blindly. So what if we start over but ignore the attic because we already did it? And I'm hoping to do 2 more. So I guess I could do bedroom, which is relating to superstition, and then into the living room again, which would be 2 more. So let's do that. So for TBR Harvest, this needs to be relating to superstition. Halloweenathon, we ended on 55 last time. So let's do the next roll. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 61 is a book featuring witches, wizards, or magic. Okay. And then for Spookoplathon, we ended on spoopy. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is highest rated. Okay. So I picked my book, I did my rolls, and then I had to, oh my gosh, wait. Ignore the mess that I have, but like Nova looks so funny right now. So I just painted the wall that's right there, and then I moved the bed that's like a day bed over here, and it has like a pull out trundle bed on it, but I didn't put the mattress on it yet, and Nova's laying in like the slats, whatever, like in between two pieces of metal, but she's a little chunky. So hang on. Like incredible. You can also see the green wall. I will just show you that. It's not focusing, but that's close enough. I need to clean off that bed. Things are just on it from moving things around, and like actually get a new comforter for it because it needs a new one. Like I don't have one for it. Anyway, so the book last night, I didn't tell you what I picked because I didn't pick it immediately. I needed to do some research because I was like, I don't know what to read. So I have 4 options on my shelves for books that have creatures or magic. So it's these 4, but I am reading Cackle in November with my Patreon, so that left me with these 3. And really, I just want to read horror, so I'm going with Devils Kill Devils. I have started this and I am 58 pages in, so I don't have a lot of real thoughts, but we are following Sarita, and she has her whole life had this like guardian angel. When she was really young, she was at the beach and she almost drowned, and this like random dude just like walked her out of the water, and since then she only sees him in situations where she is about to die. But then at the very beginning, she gets married, and on her wedding night this dude shows up and brutally murders her brand new husband. She's like, maybe he's not that great. So we are learning about the 4, I believe, instances before this one where she has not met him. He just is kind of like usually near her. So the first one is at the beach when she's 7, I believe. And then in high school, there's an instance. And then there's 2 that are more like, we don't know the details and they're maybe not the best situations, so we're learning about them like a little later on. So this kind of has like a weird magical feeling, like fantasy element to it. There's not like magic, but there's definitely some sort of like supernatural thing going on. The synopsis is so vague, but I will tell you that this is a vampire book. Oh, I actually do have this signed. I met him at an event, and he said that the publisher is telling people it's vampires, so I can say it. I haven't really gotten to that part yet, but we are getting the perspective of this like very interesting lady that we don't know much about. I don't know what her name is, but we're not getting much from her. She's very powerful, but we don't know much about her. So far, I'm liking it, but yeah, I'm like 60 pages in, so I don't have a lot of thoughts on that. So this is book number 5, and I did finish Candy Cane Kills again this morning, which is book number 3, and then we'll just be reading one at a time. So I ended up really liking this. I am going to give it 4 stars. I don't like it as much as Candy Cane Kills. I do think that this has a lot of things you have to overlook to enjoy it. The character of Candy Cane really went through a lot that we learned about in the first novella, and seeing the things that she's able to do, knowing some of the circumstances, is just like a little weird. But I liked the discussions on religious trauma in here, and how specifically like the Catholic Church has a lot of issues with power within it. Pastor Wendell really thinks he's a great part of the church and the religious community, and seeing how that kind of causes him to interact with other church members, and then those church members in power dealing with specifically the children in the church. Like, it's yeah. So a very fun time. 4 stars. I do like the first one a little more, but I would still recommend both. So I'm going to read a little bit. Actually, I might edit. I'm not sure. But Adam and I, it's Tuesday, and Tuesday is our movie day. We are going to see Transformers 1 today. We didn't really want to see anything, but we have our movie pass, and Tuesday's movie day, so we picked something. So I have a little bit before we go to that, but I'm excited to eat popcorn as usual. I actually ate lunch for once, so maybe I won't get sick from eating super buttery popcorn. So I am getting ready to go to bed. I have been listening to the audiobook for Devils Kill Devils, and I'm 122 pages and I just got to chapter 16 and I'm liking this one. I don't think I have any real complaints. I know a lot of people don't really love this. There is a lot going on, but I think it's still really easy to keep straight. I'm not confused at all, and I feel like everything kind of has its place. I will say with the audiobook, I'm kind of frustrated with it because the narrator, I guess, recorded most of it at one time, and then when there's like a pass through to see if anything maybe needs like enunciated more or there's words stumbled on, the re-recording of it sounds different. So the first couple times it happened, I was like, is that supposed to be like a clue to something? Like, is that a different narrator? But it's just re-recordings that are happening. So I don't love that like quality issue. I don't think I've ever really had that specific issue with an audiobook. So that's interesting, especially because this is from Tor Nightfire. So there is that. The vampire stuff that I mentioned earlier, it's very like, it's like kind of in the background. That's a good way to say it. I feel like not a lot is happening, but a lot is happening. I really don't know how to talk about this book. I don't know how to describe it because we are watching, I forget her name, Sarita, and she's just like dealing with the aftermath of her husband being killed and kind of knowing that there's some like weird situation involving it, so she can't really get any help. She can't really talk to many people about it. And then we're also following her husband's biological mother. So there was this like whole thing, and she didn't come to the wedding because she was out of his life pretty early on, and his stepmother raised him. So he wanted the stepmom to do the first dance with him and not his biological mom. She threw a fit, didn't show up, and now she's acting like she's the world's best mother. And I'm sure she's like upset and heartbroken that her son is gone. I don't think that people that are not good parents specifically don't care about their kids. So that I think is just an interesting idea to be not really dealing with, but like maybe a little bit. She very much feels entitled to this relationship with him. It's a very toxic relationship that we are learning about from like both sides. We're not seeing them interact, but we hear things that she said and then things that I don't even know what his name is, told our main character. And then just seeing Sarita dealing with all these emotions that are coming with this situation and trying to figure everything out has been interesting. I do really want to know what's going on with the situation with the biological mom, because she's in a more, what's the word? Like, I guess active position at this point. Sarita is kind of passive, just trying to figure things out, but I don't know what the mom's name is, has found herself in a situation where she will be involved in more things. Also, I forgot to say, this is not the highest rated on my TBR, so I did not count the Spookoplathon prompt. There is a lot of superstition in here. I think I might have said monsters for the Halloweenathon prompt. I'm all over the place. Monsters wasn't on it, it was magic, but this still fits. So it fits for superstition and magic, so 2 of the 3. But yeah, this has a very low average rating, so definitely didn't get that one. I'm gonna go lay in bed, listen to the audiobook. Tomorrow I have to go to Target, so I'll take you along with that. I'm getting more bookshelves. I'm gonna go feed the cats, walk on my walking pad for 5 minutes, because that's been my goal for October. 5 minutes of walking every day. I've done it every day except for the one day I was kind of sick, so I can't quit like 3 days before the end of the month. I have finished Devils Kill Devils. I thought about updating you, but I had nothing to say. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I liked the beginning more than the end, but the middle is where it lost me. I think that, not that I think that this should be shorter, because it's already pretty short, but also the audiobook was really long for a book of this length. The font is kind of small, so I guess maybe I do think it should be shorter. The middle like maybe like 50 to 60, 70-ish% just felt a little repetitive for me. I think the storyline itself wasn't moving enough, but we were getting a lot of like other information. And like it all made sense and was relevant, but I think it could have been condensed a little bit. And then things would have felt more impactful. And then by the end, I would have cared. I just didn't care at the end of this. Like I didn't. So I did like the things that this book was doing, but I don't know. It wasn't a favorite for me. I do think, sadly, I liked this more than a lot of other people, but I really loved The Spite House, and I will continue to read from Johnny Compton. I probably would unhaul this if I didn't have a signed copy, but this will be staying on my shelves, so we need to pick another book. I have no idea how, but I lost my 2 white dice, so I have this 1 red one. So we're going to roll it twice and add them together. So this is roll 6 for Halloweenathon. We ended on 61. So we have 4. Oh, hey, Winston. Plus. Hey! Is that where they went? It was a 6 before he batted that away. So that puts us at 71. Can't have that back. Okay, 71 is an activity only prompt. So we're going to do the next roll. 5 and 1, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 77. That is to read or watch a Kelsey rec, which I don't think I have any on my TBR. So hopefully we can get 1 more in. 4. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, hey, Winston. 83. That is to read a book with candy corn colors on the cover. Thanks. And for Spookoplathon, we ended on highest rated. So we're just going to keep going. 1 and 5. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Pumpkin carving again, which is to read a book with a face on the cover, which also works because I didn't do that one last time. For TBR Harvest, we are moving down and we are in the living room again, so we need another book that I don't know much about, and then we need one with a face on the cover and candy cane, no, wrong holiday, candy corn colors. So let's look what's on my TBR. I think I've kind of established that I don't know much about a lot of the books, but I would say that the ones up here that I've owned for the longest fit that more, and then just like going kind of in order. So that's not candy cane colors. That has candy cane colors, not a face. Wait. It has the light orange, the darker orange, the white. There's a face on it. And I don't know the synopsis of this. I just bought it because I gave this author's previous book 5 stars. So I'm not even going to look any further. We're just going to read Warrior Girl Unearthed. So for our 6th book, we got a book that fit all 3 prompts, which is good because this is the last one. So I feel like it's nice to end with all 3 readathons prompts. But here is the situation. I am going to DNF. I am going to DNF this one. I honestly only read like 20 pages, but here's the thing. I don't think I want to read YA anymore. There are a few authors, specifically Tiffany D. Jackson and Allie Hazelwood, that I will read YA from that I've truly loved and think that like I will continue to love. But I just feel like the plots don't really interest me. I'm never truly invested in them. I can recognize that they have a lot of good things to talk about and to discuss with teenagers, but I am not that. And I've never been like a huge YA reader as an adult, but I have tried to read some every once in a while, and I think I'm just kind of deciding that I'm done. So we are going to unhaul this one. I do have a signed copy of this. I met this author at an event, so it's not personalized, it's just signed. So I'll probably put this on Pango. I do still really love Firekeeper's Daughter, and I definitely can recognize that I'm dropping books everywhere. So this deals with the crisis of missing Indigenous women. So I'm sure it's really great, and I would read something with similar themes as an adult novel, but I don't know. I just never seem to get invested in YA books anymore. So that is our final book. We did 6 rolls, 4 of them I finished, 2 I DNF'd. So we have 4 stars for So Thirsty, 4 stars for The Games Gods Play, 4 stars for Candy Cane Kills Again, and 3 stars for Devils Kill Devils, DNF'd The Father She Meant to Find, and Warrior Girl Unearthed, which honestly, if I had to guess which ones I would have DNF'd, like, I didn't buy this, and I bought this without knowing a single thing about it, and I've just really moved away from YA. So we started the episode with 55 books, almost immediately added 2 more because of Twisted Retreat, so that took us to 57. I have 6 off my shelves from the rolls, so 51. The books I unhauled earlier, along with YA books, I'm not really interested in reading old books anymore. I haven't heard the best things about this, and I was told that I probably won't love this, so I'm gonna unhaul them. And then I'm also gonna take the last YA book off of my TBR, and that is The Eyes of Tambura by Maria V. Snyder. I have read and really enjoyed from this author before, but her books are definitely very YA leaning, so I honestly just don't want to give it a go. So I now have 13 books off of my shelves, which takes me down to 44. Am I going to be able to do that by the end of the year? I don't know. I have some other videos planned that are not going to feature books on my shelves for the most part, so I really don't think I'm going to be able to get them all in by the end of the year. I was hopeful, that I got too many books. I also did want to say, at the beginning I said I was going to make the drink from the So Thirsty card. I tried to get cream soda twice and just couldn't get it, so sadly I didn't do that. And I told you I was going to show you Target, but I just did a Target pickup, I didn't go in, so like, that's not exciting. Oh, also Adam and I did carve pumpkins for Halloween, so that was fun. I made an eyeball and he made Yoshi. I am very happy with all of this progress. The next episode will be at the end of November. I'm hoping to get a lot done from that. I have a very fun way of picking my books. It might have something to do with Libby. All 3 readathons and their creators are linked in the description, so make sure you check them out even though they're over. They're all great channels and have really fun events. If you've made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me any sort of Halloween themed emoji, so candy corn, is that an emoji? I don't think so. A vampire, anything spooky. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you at the end of November for another episode of this, but I do have some fun vlogs coming out in November that you don't want to miss as well. Bye.